Hey, everybody, what's going on? Ali Mehdaoui here, live with you in another one. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that was picked by Tom Young. And I owed it to you yesterday, and I promised you that I was going to make it up to you. So today we're covering branding. And here's the thing. I'm not only going to cover branding as far as the philosophy behind it, the 4 steps that I personally use, but I'm also going to go further and show you step by step how you can repurpose. What applications do I use? What does my virtual assistant do as soon as these live videos are done? And how you can monitor and literally dominate all these content in every other platform. So stick with us. We'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back. So first things first, I want to cover the very first 4 fundamentals to having a brand, because there's many people, they say, hey Ali, I really want to have a brand, but I just don't know where to start. So here are my first 4 steps, and if this is your very first time hopping in, you probably want to share this video with your team members or your group that you are part of, or just in your newsfeed, because there's many people who can take advantage of this information and have the success that they desire and want to have. And this formula or 4 steps that I'm about to share with you right now has helped me develop and establish a brand in 14 different countries and sell a book in 7 countries and have organizations in 5 different languages. So you too now can do the same exact thing, and I'm not expecting anything back, but simply one thing and one thing only. Just share this video. Let somebody else get the information. Pay it forward. So very first thing that I tell everybody when building a brand is you need to identify your vision and be able to communicate it, right? You have to let me know exactly where am I going. If I don't know that path that you're walking, if it looks dark and scary, I'm skeptical, I'm afraid, I'm hesitant, I'm not going to follow you. Your prospects and your audience have the same exact notion, mental that is, where if you do not communicate where you are and where you're going, you're gonna struggle a little bit from attracting the masses. So first things first is your vision, and here's a simple way. And there's a book called Start with the Why by Simon Sinek that I highly recommend for you to either listen to on audible.com or just make sure that you get the book itself and just read it. So it talks about start with telling the why, and then how you're gonna establish that why, and then what is it that you do. Most of us make the mistake and just say, here's what I do. So why you do it, how you do it, and then what. That's how you develop that vision and you communicate it. The very second step that you need is to understand what culture do I want to develop, meaning what demographic do I want to target. So again, I said this before, I know I have, but for those of you who may be watching this for the very first time, here is what I'll tell you. You need to kind of close your eyes for a second and imagine yourself, if I was in the middle of an audience and speaking to thousands of people, who am I picturing in my audience? Is it parents? Is it millennials? Is it couples? Is it college students, right? And whatever that answer is, and there's no wrong answer. You can have many different categories. Whatever that answer is, that is your actual targeted demographic, and build upon that. Create something within it. Even your community, or whether on Facebook or whatever community that you're building, make sure that it speaks to that demographic. Number 3 is make sure that you identify one answer. What problem do I and only I solve? Now, most of us struggle with this thing, and it's not because you don't have a talent or you don't have something that you only are capable of handling. Here's what I'll tell you. I personally have my own personal story. That is my path, right? My testimony, if you will. The path that my life has taken me and the struggle that I have gone through, that no one else has gone through the same exact path of struggle. If you just are humble enough to educate people, hey, because I've gone through this and because I've gone through that and because I know exactly how I and only I can help with these specific issues. And when you're, again, humble enough to open up, and when you overcome a struggle, it becomes a responsibility to share with others. So as you are sharing your testimony, as you are telling people, hey, I've gone through this and I can help you with it, it could be credit, right? If your credit was bad and you fixed it, now you can teach someone else how to overcome that, right? Because you lived it. If you had a business that terminated or shut down on you, and then you overcome and built it all over again, that's another expertise that you just developed because you lived it. You've gone through it. through it. So make sure you're not holding back and you don't try to be the perfect expert. Just be humble enough to share your own mistakes and failures, and you prevent it from happening to others, and or you help others get out of whatever it is that they are in. So that's number 3. The fourth, which is relevant to you and only you, not so much your audience, but it is important nonetheless. What is your budget? If you don't have a monthly budget where you are putting money aside or you're investing in your business, I'm telling you, you don't operate like a business. There is no successful company or company that is established, even if they're not profitable at some point. If they don't have a budget, they're operating on paycheck to paycheck. They do not understand, or they're not fiscally responsible. You too, unless you have a fiscally responsible process where you're like, okay, every single month I'm putting $100 in this business account no matter what. If I use it, great. If I don't use it, so what? I will still put it in that account. There's a reason when you go to a networking event and you hear a speaker saying, hey, we're going to do, this special offer for $499 for such and such and such and such and such with this trip, with this hotel included, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, oh my God, I can't afford it. The reason you can't afford it is because you never had a monthly budget that you were putting money aside. Because if your budget was just $100 a month that you don't touch, you just put it away, and 6 months later, you have $600, right? And if an occasion brings it that you see a valuable process to you, you can say, you know what, this is the time for me to invest in my business. So these are the 4 fundamentals as a quick recap. 1, what is your vision? What is your culture? What problem do you and only you solve? And what is your budget? That's what worked for me. Again, there are other people who have different styles, different techniques. That's what has worked for me, and this is what I teach and educate my students. Now, let me go a little bit on the deeper side, because a lot of people think a brand is a logo, a website. Sure, the aesthetic of it is a part of that, right? Like eventually you want to have, your Batman sign, right? Or your Superman sign, or your Wonder Woman, whatever that symbol that represents who you are. Eventually. But if you don't have a well-spoken or communicated vision and a demographic itself, it doesn't matter how attractive and sexy your logo is. At the end of the day, you have no one keeping an eye on it and watching you. So what do you do, or what tools do you use right away to create an attraction piece for yourself? And for those of you who are watching, drop a number 1 if you are using social media more than once a day. What I mean is that you are either posting, doing videos, or sharing some content that gives value to your audience. Drop a number 1, because I want to know who I'm talking to, right? So if you are doing that, congratulations, you took the very first step, because I'll show you the most used tools that a marketer is using on a regular basis. And this is not going to be a shock, but some of you, you're going to be like, oh my God, I was overthinking it all this time. Check this out. Do these look familiar? Instagram, Facebook page, that's the business page, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, Snapchat, social media. See, social media is the thing right now that companies, billion-dollar companies, trillion-dollar industries are leaning on more than anything else. And the reason for it is everyone is in some type of social media. There's some of you who might not be on Instagram or on Twitter. There's others who might not understand or have what Snapchat could be to you and to your business. But that's where I spend most of my day business-wise. To some, it may be like, okay, so what are you saying, Ali? Just go to Facebook all the time and play? No, I'm not saying that. I use Facebook to engage, create content, communicate with people. Now, you may not see the Facebook Messenger in there, is because I actually have it on my home screen, because it is that much important. I communicate and I message with at least on a bad day, 25 people a day. And no, it's not just business. I actually communicate with people. I check on people. Hey, how you doing? How's the family? How are the kids? How was that process you were telling me about? Because I am in the relationship building industry. I'm about building networks. I'm about building communities. Business secondary, but community first, being there for one another first, right? So make sure that you yourself are engaging yourself in social media in a professional way. You know, you got to be careful what you're posting about. Listen, I speak my mind every now and then on things that I'm passionate about. I spoke on the NFL before. I spoke on gun control before, not necessarily on a political standpoint, but something that I really needed to communicate with my community, let them know who I truly am and how I feel. That's okay, but you don't want to get into this tangent of I'm going to be anti or I'm going to be only pro such and such. You got to be open-minded and willing to communicate with other parties, because politics, religion, sport, anything that has a very passionate feel into it, it may engage a certain community, but it will isolate you from the rest of the world. So you want to make sure that you understand that, and you understand the consequences. God forbid you were hardcore on a specific subject or topic or conspiracies or anything like that. So understand, you could do whatever you want on social media, but there's always consequences, right? For people to react any specific way. So again, the reason I use these very specific tools is because it allows me to be myself. It allows me to communicate, and I know that's where I'm going to get the most reach. Every single one of these has a different language, as crazy as that may sound to you. What I mean by a different language, at times you're gonna feel like okay, I'm talking to all these people on Facebook and they're talking to me, but Instagram no one is. I'm not getting any engagement, right? Or LinkedIn, people are ignoring me. Well, there's a reason for that, because every single platform has a different language. Some platforms, they love hashtags. Other platforms do not like hashtags at all. Some platforms, if you put your website, they will bury your post so it doesn't show again. Other platforms, they are willing to let you share other things. So you gotta make sure that you know. And a book that I would recommend to all of you on social media specifically is Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vee. It helped me out a lot to understand, and it's a visual book, so you won't find it an audiobook. It's literally 80% of it is illustrations and pictures. So Jab, 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 Right Hook is a great book that will educate you on each and every platform on social media. Now, the second set of tools that I use is how to actually create. Now, I do have a graphic designer, Rick Roman, shout out to you, my friend. I do have a web designer, AB, shout out to you, my friend. I do have a virtual assistant, Johnny from the Philippines. How you doing, my friend? I love you. You make my life easy. So what happens with this video, right, once it's actually done from a Facebook Live standpoint, and how am I making it look the way it does look? What am I actually using to add the graphics and the colors and you know, to make it look like a show instead of just you pressing go live on a Facebook Live? So I hope you're ready, because now I'm really gonna spill all the beans. I'm gonna give you all the goodies. Again, I do have a virtual assistant that takes care of all this for me, because there are a few steps that are in there. You should consider to delegate and outsource. Anything that is offline, delegate it. Anything that's online, outsource it, right? But let's just show you some of the things that I do use. And before I move on from this picture right here, on the top left, you see WordSwag. That application is $3, I think, or $4. It's less than a burger. It allows you to create content. It allows you to add your logo in there. It allows you to put writing on top of, or font on top of a picture, or whatever it is that you want to create. The next set of tools is this one right here, and I actually love it because we all know about Zoom. That's how I communicate for the most part with a lot of people when I do any of my trainings, my presentations, or a group setting. WordSwag, or WordPress rather, not WordSwag. WordPress is a blog platform, and I'll show you at the end how I actually go back to it. But that's where all my blogs are. You can just check out MehdaouiEnterprise.wordpress.com. Dropbox, that's where I put all my content for my team to grab pictures, videos, content, and then when I say, hey, here's a link, I just uploaded these pictures, here's what I want you to create with them, yada, 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 yada. That way they can just go to my file on Dropbox and they can take all the content without me having to upload and email and do all that stuff all the time. Layout, that's how you can actually create a collage, and that is compatible with Instagram, which I really like it. Drive is just another platform. Some people have Gmail and they are more comfortable with using that. And also just different applications like Voxer. It's like a walkie-talkie, quick, voice messages. InstaFit, that's for those of you who sometimes you post your picture and 80% of the picture will fit and the other 20% is outside the frame. Well, you can use that application to make it. FCC is free conference calling. That's just for conference calls. So I use these again just to create a little quick 1, 2, 3 punch if something that I want to do on my own instead of waiting for the team to create it for me. Again, I hope you took a picture of it. If not, obviously you can go back to the recording to see it. Any of you that uses any of these applications or this is new to you, give me some thumbs up. Let me know that you're learning a thing or two from what I just shared with you. Now, I'm going to share with you how am I creating this setup that you're seeing right now. Like, why is there a logo right here on the bottom, right? How is the screen so wide, right? So there is an application in your phone right now that you can download. It's called Switcher Studio. So Switcher Studio, it's a mobile app, and it gives you the looks that you are seeing right now. It gives you a studio-like feel where you can have your own logo, you can add imagery, you can put a video, or whatever it is that you want to put. Even the actual view that you're looking at right now is created through it, and it streams live on Facebook, or it streams live on YouTube, or you can actually build a network inside that application itself and just pre-record to a video that you want to pre-record it and then post it afterwards. So it's really up to you. I like this application. Kamau Selby shared this application, so shout out to you, my friend, if you check out this video later on. And then you may be wondering, okay, Ali, how are you getting this full wide screen? Well, I'll share with you again. I'm giving you all my tools in here. There is a 2-in-1 wide angle lens and micro lens by Oki. I'll show you. This is right here. This is the brand itself. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon, and you put it on top of the lens of your phone itself, and then it gives you this, nice maximized view itself. Here, even though we're recording it, we're going live, I'll show you the difference. So, see the difference? This is the lens. So when you put it right back on, and let me just put it back where it was, and there you have it. With the magic of that lens, you get this nice wide view itself. Microphones, all that stuff, obviously you can get it from Amazon. Now, let me get back to Switcher. So as I create all this stuff and then I go live with you all, okay, great, you're loving it. I'm giving you all this content. I'm engaging with all of you. Once this video is done, it saves into my phone. And even if you're on Facebook Live, you know how it gives you the option of post, delete? On the top, there's another option that says download, where you can actually download the video and save it into your phone. Do that, because immediately after that's done, and again, I have a team that does this for me, but I'll show you if you wanted to do it yourself, because you can. You go to YouTube and you upload that very same video. And again, if you haven't made it to my YouTube channel, just Google Ali Mehdaoui, or just go to YouTube and look for Ali Mehdaoui, and you'll notice I literally have I think like 300 videos or something like that of coaching and training and development that I've done. These are many of them are trainings that I've done on events or whatever, and I have different playlists. Some are in French, some are in Spanish, and there's obviously a business mode. So again, that's called repurposing. You take a content that you already created one place, and then you are repurposing it, because there are many people who don't have Facebook. And guess what? For not having Facebook, I now reach out to them through YouTube, because once you upload into YouTube, guess what happens? Your YouTube page, depending on your setting, I have it set up to repurpose everywhere else, immediately posts on Twitter. Ali just posted a new video. Google+, Tumblr, Pinterest, Gmail. Everybody in my Gmail gets an email notification, new video. So now my email notification just became almost like a newsletter feel, right? And all these different platforms themselves. So again, you are literally taking one video and creating all this content with it. The secret is, and I'll tell you in a little bit, is to create content, right? Once it is uploaded in YouTube, I actually take that same video and I go to LinkedIn, right? Doesn't my video start like that? Now again, same exact thing. My LinkedIn audience might not have access to my Facebook or to my YouTube or to whatever it is. Now they get to see it. And on LinkedIn, minimize, if eliminate hashtags. I very, very, very rarely put hashtags on LinkedIn. It's not just appropriate for it. And I don't post any websites or anything like that on the body itself. I just give value and educate just because it's a different platform. After going on LinkedIn, and you notice in there, what is it, 645 views, 645 views just on LinkedIn that are separate from what I actually had on YouTube, that are separate from what I actually had on Facebook, that are separate at Google+. So you see all this engagement and all this connection that you're creating with different people with one video, right? Once it is uploaded again. So it doesn't just stop there. So we went from Facebook, then we took it to YouTube, then we took it to LinkedIn, then we are engaging every other platform by notifying every single network that there's a brand new video that's been uploaded. And then I strip the actual audio from the video itself. So now it becomes a podcast. How do I do that? Well, again, I have virtual assistants that do it, and you can reach out. So if you want like links or applications or whatever that will take just the audio out of the actual video that you've done, and it gets uploaded into SoundCloud. If we're not connected in SoundCloud, just go to SoundCloud and look for Ali Mehdaoui, and you will find many, many playlists and some things that I have in there that are original sounds just for the audio itself, original content. Some are in French, some are in Spanish, many are in English, and I have different playlists for them as well. And you'll notice, you know, that some of them are cut off a little bit just so, you know, they're appropriate for the podcast itself. Now, it does not stop there. What if I can tell you that I can take that audio and turn it into an actual blog, like verbs and words and grammar and language? So there's a website called rev.com, where you take an audio and then they literally turn it into a manuscript. They correct it, they edit it, they do whatever they have to do, and then they send it back to you. It's $1 per minute. So a 10-minute video. So as you are taking that, you know, rev.com, and you turn an audio into, look at that, that just gone. Here, we're back. You take that, and then all of a sudden, it becomes, yeah, we're on live show, so sometimes you have things happen, right? It's all love. And then you take that and you turn it into a blog. So this was an audio, a video that I did that turned into YouTube and all the different platforms that I just shared with you right now. Should I really follow my upline system, right? And now it is a blog that many people went and read it and went through all these different platforms themselves. And again, I engage with so many different people, and this too repurposes it everywhere else in every social media platform where you have people now who are reading it, looking into it, and engaging with it. You got people who likes to read versus listening or watching videos. Now, at the end of all this, when you go to my website, workwithali.com, you will find it all in one place. That's when you will need a website, just so you can bring your community in one-stop shop where they can find everything that you are creating, producing, and then at the same time, they can find any valuable offers. The only offer that I have in there is a complimentary evaluation, because I create and I customize my training for the masses. I don't just create one, shoe to fit all, because it never does. But you can go to workwithali.com and you can find it. And then at the end of it all, it all starts with one video. So the secret sauce to branding is to get your face in front of your camera and go live. Everything else, obviously, you can add as you grow, but you have to create content. You have to put, a sense of you becoming this creative component of your own company, right? It's not about just selling the product and recruiting people and and doing presentations. That's important. That's an income producing activity, but you have to bring the eyes to you in order to present something to them. And if you're not creating, I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter how great of an opportunity that you have. it just doesn't matter because no one is looking, right? So work on your branding skills. I hope this video helped you out. If it has, drop a number 3. I think we're at number 3. Drop a number 3 if this video helped you out, and drop in the comment box what was the aha moment. What is the one thing that you've picked up out of what I just shared with you today, because I'm curious if we need to expand and do more trainings. Number 2, if I have not given you a complimentary coaching session, go to workwithali.com/schedule, and then you can take a complimentary evaluation, your product, your company, your service, your compensation plan, whatever you need me to help you out with. I'll give you 30 minutes of my time just to help you out. I just like to go through the calendar so we're not overlapping through any other appointments, and respect everything else that we have in place. And last but not least, share this video because we can help many people that are out there. Hey, tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Last night, we had Mr. Castino. He's an owner of a network marketing company. We were talking about a very, very sensitive, controversial topic, and we covered this whole concept of, online coaches and, how much of it is legit, lead generations, scams, what is the truth behind what's really happening in the virtual and network marketing space. So we identified all the problems, and you can see the video. It's in my newsfeed still. Tonight at 8:30, we're going to be covering the solution. How can we actually fix it, right? And he has 3 decades of experience in the network marketing profession as a builder, as a consultant, and as an owner. He's trained over 1 million people, and he mentored me about 6 years ago. So I'm really, really excited to have part 2. That's tonight at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, and I look forward to seeing your name pop up tonight on our newsfeed. So again, thank you so much. Much love to all of you, and make it a great day. Take care, everybody.